Hello, this is Leah here. I'm going to go ahead and get started talking about my senior enrichment project. I did my college based on this phone game I played called Neko Atsume, which is basically just a cat game. I used their image as the favicon up here and like their image for the home page. And I'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with all the React components and then the reducers and then go down to the backend stuff. So my main center of all of my components is this root page. On the root and on every page is the nav bar. Or on every page is the nav bar, which is this big thing you see up here. The nav bar links to all the campuses or all the students, and then if you want to go back to the home page, you can click on this kitty. Um, and then all of my routes are here as well. I have a route to all the campuses, all the students, a single student, and a single campus. I'll start by going to this actual nav bar button. This big picture is literally a link just to the home page, but I liked it because it was big and I just like the way it looked. And then these buttons down here link to either all campuses or all our students. And all of our campuses are, I used React Redux to get everything, to get all of my elements on state here. So I got all my campuses and students, and I have the delete campus button here because I wanted to be able to delete the campus when you look at all of them. And I got all the campuses by mapping through all of them on state, and then they are also all linked. So if I click campus, it will delete it. It won't show up right away, but it will show up upon refreshing the page. I didn't properly, oh, whoops, one more time. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, and then it'll go away after the user refreshes. I still do need to work on getting the state properly there, but that was one thing I wanted to work on as I went forward. So then all of our students and all of our campuses are clickable. So if you click on a campus, it'll take you to a page with the image, the campus, a little description about the campus, and all the students that go there. You can delete students here too, and this is where I decided to put all of my edits. So to edit this campus, say we wanted to change the name to like Sin, you can edit them and click here. Once again, the state wasn't properly hooked up to these pages, so you do have to refresh to see the edits that you made on the campuses. Oh yeah, and I'll just go through this form really quickly. So my edit form has like a handle submit and a handle change and a new campus, which I'll go over when I go over my reducers. But basically, as someone types something in, the on change will handle the change, or the handle change will handle the change, yeah. And then once it's submitted, the on submit will handle the submit. And then once it is submitted, I have an edit thunk that I'll go over in the reducers that will edit the campus in the server and thus edit the campus. And it's sort of the same with the students as well. So each of my students, if you click on all the students, you can click on a link that'll take you to one student. It'll show you their name, all their info, and you can do the same thing where you edit the student. Once again, this form needs to be refreshed because it's not properly hooked up, but you can edit the students and everything else still works. Now, to talk about the reducers, I set up 4 reducers and I started by combining all the reducers in the index. So I have one for the campus, one for the students, and these new campuses and new students are essentially a right student. I chose to just call them new. But in my campus and my student, they have the same exact things in their reducers. I have a get campus, get campuses, edit campus, and delete campus. My get campus is used in my thunk. So whenever I make a post request to the server to get a campus, the get campus action is what actually dispatches it. And then my edit campus request uses the edit campus thunk, which goes to the server, and with the using this route and this payload, it'll edit that campus that is found at that route and then dispatch this action. The delete campus is very similar. And then in my reducer, what our get campus action does is it takes whatever you got and it adds it to the state, and by not altering the state, but like what's the word again? It like puts in a new object. It doesn't mutate the state, it just makes a new one and adds it to it. My get campuses literally just gets all the campuses. That's the action that it does. And then the edit campus maps through all the campuses and updates the one that is different, and the delete campus filters it so that the one that is different is no longer in the state. My new campus and new student work a little bit differently. The way I wanted to control my inputs on some of my forms was by having this reducer that keeps track of it on the state. I didn't use it too much, but what it does is as you type, and the handle submits, this state is what changes on change. And it's the same for the students and the new students. They're essentially identical, just students instead of campuses. And then my main is where all this goes out. And then the store, I chose to export all of my actions and thunks and stuff from here so that they're all accessible. Okay, and now going to the backend and the server, I set up my routes by setting up an index page for the campuses and the students, and then I get all my campuses and include all the associations, and then this is how I get those. And then to get a single campus, you go to just that campus ID. Yeah, and to create one, I create it with direct.body, and then yeah, I feel like these are pretty self-explanatory, but these are all of my backend API requests, and yeah, it's the same for campuses and students pretty much. And then in my database, my models are pretty straightforward, just have a name, image. I have a default image, so if I did create a new campus, I would have a default image and a description. And then I got all my databases. I had an index page where I had all my associations set up, and then the student is not, it has a little bit more information, a little bit more required here. So they have to have a first name, last name. They have a name getter that gets the first name and last name and puts those two together, and then a GPA. And then I made a very large seed file to create all my students so I could see them and have a lot of kitties in my campus. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is my campus, my senior enrichment project campus app. Ta-da!